What if I told you that one actress's words could cost a multi-billion-dollar company hundreds of millions? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, that's exactly what happened with Disney's newest Snow White remake and the face of the disaster, Rachel Zegler. Buckle up because this story is wild. This isn't just about a failed movie. It's about how Hollywood's biggest studios are learning the hard way that unchecked social media opinions can wreck entire productions. And the worst part? This could have all been avoided.
So today I want to talk about what's wrong and what Disney should be doing moving forward. So we have to talk about Rachel Zegler again because she has made a lot of videos, especially during election season, that alienated many fans because of her political beliefs, right? Saying that she didn't want their business, they're not voting for Kamala Harris, supposed to be promoting the movie, and all she was doing was dissing the original Snow White, calling the movie creepy and weird, and saying that they don't prince anymore, so instead we had a random thief that was her love interest, and this is her response to the haters.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
And here she is watching Snow White in an empty theater.
Disney's live-action Snow White was expected to be a major blockbuster, but instead, it's turning into one of Disney's biggest flops. The movie barely scraped $93 million in its first 5 days, a disaster considering its estimated $250 million budget, and that doesn't even include marketing. To break even, it needed at least $500 million at the box office, but at this rate, Disney is facing a catastrophic loss. And trust me, Hollywood executives are panicking. So what went wrong? Was it the story? The production? Nope. Most fingers point straight at Rachel Zegler. This young actress should have been the film's biggest asset, but instead, she became its worst nightmare. Her social media presence turned fans against the movie before it even hit theaters. Critics say it's a classic case of Hollywood stars being out of touch with audiences. But this isn't just about one actress. This might be one of the biggest PR disasters in Disney history.
Very few people wanted to see this. Even the little kids who like Disney movies, even they don't seem to be turning up in droves for the movie because the movie is really, really bad. And Ben, you and I have gone back and forth. You're very harsh on a lot of movies. I tend to see redeeming features.
Obviously, these changes were made deliberately. Rachel Lindsay, the host of some podcast or another, she was talking about this movie when it was first being made. It should never have been remade at all. They should dump the story. The story is it's too dated. Here's Rachel Lindsay talking about this.
Let's be honest. This movie should have never been made. Snow White, when it came out, was huge back in 1937. That movie has so many problems where we were in 1937 versus 2025. More than the other Disney movies, it should have never been a movie remake. Because think about it. She's so perfect because her skin is white as snow. One problem. She goes, finds the dwarf's house. She cooks, she cleans the house. And why does she get to stay? Because she agreed to cook and clean for them.
Pull your weight. Pull your weight.
For these 7 men. Why couldn't she go mine with them? Why couldn't she go hi ho, hi ho?
They didn't ask her to hi ho. They could have asked her to hi ho.
Then beauty was the defining feature of a woman.
Oh, that never happens, right?
Obviously the depiction of the dwarf.
Zegler's troubles started the moment she was cast. People had mixed feelings about a Latina Snow White, but things escalated when SHE decided to clap back. Her now deleted tweet? Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role. Instead of winning fans over, this statement fueled controversy. But it didn't stop there. Rachel then went on a media rampage, openly criticizing the classic Snow White story and branding it as outdated, saying, "Our version is refreshing because it's not about a prince saving her." While that might sound progressive, it alienated the movie's core audience. Disney movies have always been about nostalgia. Changing a beloved classic is already risky, but mocking the original fans? That's a death sentence. Then came the real disaster. Zegler's anti-Trump social media posts surfaced. This was a career-suicidal move. Disney had to hire a team just to clean up her social media mess. Hollywood is known for being political, but there's a fine line between having an opinion and alienating half the country. Rachel's words weren't just controversial, they were hostile, and that's when things went downhill fast.
think that Disney would try and change something after so many flops, but no. So they rewrote things to try and fit a modern agenda, add some Marxism, and they called it Snow White.
Snow White is a soft, dainty, and feminine woman. She's not a girl boss like Mulan. Snow White represents us girls who don't want that girl boss lifestyle. We're interested in being leaders. We're not interested in climbing up the corporate ladder. We're not interested in being politicians, the CEO, you know, all that stuff. And that's okay. I didn't like the fact that they bossified Snow White on a live action remake. It's just not her. It's not White that I grew up with.
And they wanted to change Snow White character from being more feminine because they thought it was weak. And newsflash, that'll make you weak. Not every female character needs to throw punches or wear armor. Snow White was more traditionally feminine, right? She was baking pies and she was singing the birds, and that's great. You don't relate to the kind of soft girl, you know, Disney princess. You can look at Mulan, for example, or Tiana, because she's a girl boss. She also had love interest and she was successful in both areas of her life. I love that movie as a kid. I thought it was unique. It had music. So there are a lot of different kinds of princess. But you have Snow White. She's an established character. She is not a girl. And if you do want to see that, there are plenty of princesses like for you. Merida, for example, that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Brave, right? Many times. And I also found it very unique. I like that they included the Scottish culture. No, she was not a typical Disney princess, but I like that about it. It didn't follow the usual Disney princess.
Behind the scenes, things got even crazier. Reports claim that one of the movie's top producers had to fly across the country to personally tell Zegler to stop making controversial statements. Why? Because her actions weren't just hurting herself, they were putting the entire multi-million-dollar production at risk. One producer's son even said, "Tens of thousands of people worked on this film, and she hijacked it for her own personal agenda." The level of self-sabotage is unreal. If you think the controversy was bad, the movie's actual reception is even worse. IMDb rating? A shocking 1.6, one of the lowest ever. Rotten Tomatoes? 44% critic score. And let's talk about the audience backlash. Social media is flooded with memes, angry reviews, and people saying they refuse to watch this movie. This isn't just a box office flop, it's a complete rejection by the public. Let's address the elephant in the room, Hollywood's obsession with pushing social agendas over storytelling. Audiences are tired of being lectured by actors who seem disconnected from reality. They want good movies, not political statements disguised as entertainment. And this isn't just Snow White. We've seen similar backlash with the Marvels, Indiana Jones, and even Pixar's latest films. Are we witnessing the collapse of modern Hollywood? Here's the real problem. Disney can't afford another major loss. The company has been struggling with declining stock prices, underperforming releases, and theme park revenue issues. Snow White's failure is just another nail in the coffin. This could lead to massive changes in how Disney operates. Could we see more traditional storytelling return? Will they start putting a leash on their actors' social media posts? One thing is clear, this flop is going to have long-term consequences. This entire disaster proves one thing: bad PR can destroy even the biggest productions. Hollywood is now realizing that unchecked social media posts from celebrities can literally cost them hundreds of millions. Moving forward, we might see tighter control over what actors say online, because studios cannot afford another Rachel Zegler situation. So, what do you think? Is Rachel Zegler to blame for Snow White's failure, or was Disney doomed from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking Hollywood stories.